Sheriff Taylor, and I'm going to talk to you guys about engineering today. Probably the first half of the presentation will be over just engineering in general, and then the other half will be about like what I do as an engineer in my specific job. So I want you guys to be interactive. If you have questions during this, go ahead and raise your hand or just blurt something out, and we'll go from there. Sound good? All right. So a little about me. I work at a company called EFCO right here in Des Moines, and we work with formwork for concrete construction. I'll say a little bit more about what that is later. I would say that if someone said, what kind of engineer are you? I'm probably a construction engineer. I went to Iowa State University, and I have a mechanical engineering degree. So my degree is a little bit different than what I actually work as. And I'm also professionally licensed. And so in the field of civil engineering, I'm a professional. And so they give you this cool stamp. So when they do some drawings, I can put my seal on it and sign my name. And that just shows that I'm standing behind the work that I've done. So what is engineering? It's a pretty broad field. Everything that you see around you, an engineer's probably had a hand in it, right? It's like this school, this projector, this laser pointer, the chair you're sitting on, the clothes you're wearing. Everything you can think of, an engineer's had their hand in it, whether that was making it, designing it, just coming up with the idea. So the best definition that I found that made sense to me, and it's a mouthful, but like I said, engineering is pretty all-encompassing. It's the application of scientific, economic, social, and practical knowledge in order to invent, design, build, maintain, through structured machines, devices, systems, materials, processes. It's a lot of stuff, right? So anything and everything that you can think of, an engineer is involved in somehow, some way. Communication. That is another aspect that engineers need to be able to do. This isn't a real job. It's kind of funny. They're making a bridge on this end, a bridge over there, and got to the middle and didn't quite line up right. So this is just a funny picture that goes to show that communication is really important, no matter what career you're in, but especially with engineers because they interact with a lot of people. There's salespeople, there's people that are out on the job site that are building bridges. There's all kinds of coordination and things that need to go on, whether that's phone calls, emails, meetings, just communicating, making sure everyone's on the same page. Very important no matter what you do. Types of engineering. There's a ton. This is just a lot that I know of, a lot that I remember from Iowa State. Some of the more popular ones, aerospace, chemical engineers, civil engineers, electrical, mechanical engineers, and many, many more. I mean, every year it seems like different schools. No matter what you want to study, there's something out there for you. There's nuclear engineers and ceramic engineers, all kinds of very interesting topics. So if there's a specific field that you're interested in, there's probably a program somewhere down the road at a college or university somewhere. All right, famous engineers. And you probably don't know a lot of these off the top of your head, but I'm going to throw some pictures up there, and I want you guys to see if you know any of these people. Da Vinci, very good. So Leonardo da Vinci, and he did a lot of stuff. He did a lot of work with optics and hydraulics and anatomy. And obviously that was a long, long time ago, right? So one of the titles I would say he had was he was a great engineer from the past. Thomas Edison. Good job, Matt. You guys saw the light bulb too. That kind of helps, right? So obviously he was big with the inventing of the light bulb. He also, you guys might have heard this phrase that, if I remember it right, I'm trying to think it was innovation. Anyway, it's 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So whenever you have an idea and you want to try and invent something or come up with a new idea, it takes a lot of hard work, right? There's guys around the roll. Neil Armstrong. What did Neil Armstrong do? You guys know? First man on the moon. Very good. He was an engineer also. that was one of the first things that he was known for was he was a great engineer and obviously had ambitions to be an astronaut. So that's something else that engineers have done.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Who's all seen that show? You guys ever seen that? Okay, I didn't know. I mean, that was on when I was like a kid. So Bill Nye the Science Guy. So he's an engineer too. He uses his skills, obviously. He's obviously a great communicator. We talked about that earlier. So he's very good. He's funny. So sometimes people think that engineers are, they're kind of boring or stuffy. You kind of see them in movies. Well, Bill Nye's obviously a pretty entertaining guy. So kind of a different career path for him. You may not know her. You probably know her. This is Cindy Crawford. So when I was growing up, when you saw a Super Bowl commercial or a cover of a magazine, Cindy Crawford, she's a supermodel. But when she was in high school, she was the valedictorian of her class, and she went to Northwestern University on a scholarship for chemical engineering. Pretty interesting. Obviously, she has a very successful career in television and modeling and things like that. So I always thought that was kind of cool that somebody that had ambitions to be an engineer and then came up with something different to do like that. This next one you probably don't know. I didn't know her, but I'd heard her name before. Her name is Mary Barra. She is the CEO of General Motors. You guys ever heard of General Motors?
Yeah.
GM, yep. They make cars, trucks, everything like that. Huge company. She's in charge of all that. She's the CEO. So women engineers are very, very in demand right now. And so career-wise, like when I was in school, I probably graduated with 125 people, and there was maybe like 6 girls. Well, now I see classes, and they come to my work, and there's a third of them are girls. And so it's becoming a lot more easy field for, it's a lot more attractive field for women to enter right now. So I think it's an exciting time. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely pursue it. Forbes magazine, they're like a financial magazine. They were talking about who the most powerful women in the world are. She was number 7 on that list. 7th most powerful woman in the world is an engineer. So I was looking at some of the other ones. Number 8 was Michelle Obama. So after her. Number 14 was Oprah. You guys know Oprah, right?
And she's like, isn't she the most wealthy woman that
She
ever
might be,
was?
but when they're talking about powerful women, she runs a huge company. And like number 17 was Beyonce. So I thought that was pretty neat that she was in front of all those. And the last one, you might not know that this guy went to school for engineering originally.
Justin Bieber?
Close. Girls, you guys know, right? Anybody?
Justin Timberlake.
Ashton Kutcher. You guys heard of Ashton Kutcher before? Okay, yeah, he does some movies. And, he went to the University of Iowa originally as a biochemical engineer, and obviously his acting career took off from there. So, anyway, broad, diverse people that have done some pretty cool things, whether that's in the name of science or they've taken their talents elsewhere. For me, I had a strong background in math and science, so I really enjoyed those classes. I know you guys have some opportunities in school as you get older. Right now, the STEM program I think is excellent. Another thing that I've had done is I've had high school students or anyone that's interested, just job shadowing, come hang out for a couple hours, see what I do. That's how I got interested in engineering. I hung out, saw what an engineer did, and was like, yeah, that was like a pretty fun thing. I would enjoy that. So that's how I knew that, hey, I could do this engineering thing. This one here is kind of a mouthful. It'll make more sense when you get older. Attend an ABET accredited university. Basically, there's different colleges. These are the ones in Iowa, Iowa State, Iowa, UNI, Dordt, Loras, and St. Ambrose, that they have recognized engineering programs that will just help you. They have very, very highly thought of engineering programs. And so those are probably the ones, if you're interested in becoming an engineer, those are the types of colleges that you would look at that have excellent programs. Internships. Does anyone know what an internship is? Yeah, well, some of them you do get paid for. So if you were in college and like over the summer you're like, man, what am I going to do? What a lot of them will do is they'll come in and they'll intern with us, and we'll give them some small jobs, kind
kind of show them a little bit about what we do every day, and then they'll help us out. And so an internship is kind of like a part-time job, maybe over the summer. So once you near graduation, there's an exam that you can take. It's called the Fundamentals of Engineering exam. It's an 8-hour exam. But what it does is it covers everything that I learned in school as an engineer. And if you pass that, you become an engineer in training. So I took that. The earliest you can take it is right before you graduate college. So I took that, passed the exam, and then started my career at DEFCO. And I was an engineer in training. And so at that point, you have to work as an engineer in training for 4 years underneath a qualified professional engineer. And then you can take another exam. It's a lot harder to become professionally licensed. And that's what a PE is. They're a professional engineer. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. That was that little stamp I showed you guys earlier that, you know, if you're a professional engineer, you can stamp drawings and stand behind it. It shows that you're competent and capable. And so the people that are building these buildings and these bridges have all had professional engineers that are qualified to do that. So, all right. So what do I do? I work at a company called DEFCO. We do formwork for concrete construction. And the best way it's been described to me is, you guys know what concrete is, right? So bridges and buildings and things like that. It's liquid, it gets poured, and then it hardens, right? It turns it almost like liquid stone. And so I design the forms that concrete gets poured into. And then the concrete hardens, and they take it away, and you see the final concrete product. So I didn't even think about that when I was in school. I didn't think about that when I was in college. Like, how do they actually build this stuff? So that's what my company does. Our main headquarters is located in North Carolina, worldwide. We're in 12 different countries. We do business in probably 12 more. So we're in Asia, Europe, Africa, and South America. Pretty cool. Since I've been there, I've had 8 different positions within engineering. So I started out as an EIT, kind of learning what to do. And now I'm to the point where I manage other engineers. Like, that's my job, is making sure that other engineers are doing their job. And we're working on these huge projects to make sure everything's going well. As far as what I have to do now, as an engineer, I would say travel is pretty limited for me. I mean, I can go places if I wanted to, but those of you that know me, I'm a pretty busy person, so I kind of like that I don't have to travel unless I want to. And I've gone as far as Santiago, Chile in South America, which is pretty cool. But then I'll drive to local job sites in Iowa, and that's pretty fun to be able to see that, see things in person, work with the people that use our equipment. And that kind of comes back to a work-life balance. So Ross, what do you think I do in my free time? When I'm done with work, what do you think I do?
Coach basketball and baseball sometimes.
Yep.
And yeah, football if you go to football games.
Yeah, so Ross knows. I've coached Ross in baseball and football and basketball. So the one thing I like about being an engineer with my job is that I can work hard during the day, but then at night I get the opportunity to volunteer and be able to coach and work with you guys on extracurricular activities. And got to watch my daughter do gymnastics last night. So that's the one thing that I like the most, is that I can travel when I want to, but when I need to stay home, I'm able to. All right. One of the more rewarding parts about being an engineer and what we do, everybody remembers, you guys don't remember when it happened, but you've heard about it. You know, the World Trade Center, 2 towers, it was terrible what happened. They came down and needed to be rebuilt. Well, my company, we did the formwork for the concrete for the new World Trade Center tower. At the time, they were calling it the Freedom Tower. I don't know if they settled on their name, but here it is, almost complete. And then on the far right, you can see the completed product. So for me, there's a great sense of pride. Like, you know, hey, something terrible happened in my company and myself. We were part of the rebuilding of that. So in my mind, that's pretty cool, and I hope that's standing for, you know, decades to come. Another tragedy that happened. This is up in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. There was an older bridge, and it collapsed, and it was terrible. You know, several people died, and it was terrible. And so obviously they needed to get this repaired as soon as possible. This is the Mississippi River they're trying to get across. And so my company had to come in and really quickly help a construction company build